how is it that we never plan for what's most important above all of those things? Our emotions. Most people aren't planning for how they want to feel throughout the day. I think of emotions as high vibration emotions and low vibration emotions. The thing is, emotions are energy, right? Emotions can be picked up through brain waves. Emotions can be felt from one human being to another. Welcome to the Be Better broadcast. I am Brandon Eastman. I work with corporate sales teams to help them unleash their confidence and activate peak performance on a daily basis. Let me ask you a question. What are you most driven by in your life? Are you driven by accomplishments, recognition? Maybe you're driven by a certain amount of money. Maybe you're driven by the relationships that you have in your life. But what if I told you that you weren't driven by any of those things in your life, that there is only one thing that you're driven by on a daily basis, minute by minute, on the sales floor and otherwise? What do you believe that one thing to be? It's one word: emotion. We are emotional beings who try to reason with our emotions, right? We try to make everything about logic, but in reality, when you made that last big purchase, what percent of that purchase was based on logic and what percent of that purchase was based on emotion? If you wanted that car that you've been looking at for a really long time, then I can assume, I might be wrong, but I can assume that you had already made the decision to buy that vehicle in your mind before you started attaching all the great reasons why you wanted it. If it was a Tesla, maybe you said, oh, it's electric, so I'm not going to spend money on gas, or my vehicle's already at 60,000 miles, I'll get the best trade-in, right? We begin to reason with things after we've already made an emotional decision. And as salespeople, in the most challenging profession that you could possibly enter into in this world, which is, again, sales, we are driven by emotion minute by minute. And the greatest sales professionals, just based on the work I've done with thousands of salespeople, are able to manage their emotions on a daily basis. If they receive bad news, they're able to bounce back. If they are rejected by a prospect, they're able to bounce back. If they have a bad sales day or a bad sales week, or maybe even a bad sales month, then they're able to bounce back and come back even stronger with new lessons and new learnings. But most sales professionals are never trained on emotional intelligence. We were never taught in school emotional intelligence, right? You probably only discovered emotional intelligence when you were later an adult in life and you read a Dan Goleman book like Emotional Intelligence 2.0, right? Or some other book out there on EI. But the reality is, the better you are able to manage your emotions and build emotional intelligence, the stronger you will be as a human being, but the more sales you will make as a sales professional. I want to give you 3 tips to build unstoppable emotional intelligence in your world of sales. Tip number 1 is to plan for the emotions that you want to experience. We have a to-do list. We plan where and what we're going to eat throughout the day. We plan vacations. We plan fun things to do with our spouse or our friends. But how is it that we never plan for what's most important above all of those things? Our emotions. Most people aren't planning for how they want to feel throughout the day. Most people aren't waking up saying, I'm going to practice enthusiasm today, or I'm going to take a seat into gratitude today, or I'm going to focus on forgiveness today, or patience, or awareness, or some other positive high vibration emotion. Most of us just aren't planning how we want to feel. But let me ask you this. What generally happens when you plan something, at least most of the time? Generally, if you create a plan, you've got a goal, you put a plan behind it, generally you're going to accomplish that thing. But if you go without a plan, then you're going to be upset. You're going to be fearful. You're going to be angry. There might be a few minutes where you are happy, or maybe a few hours if you're more practiced in the high vibration emotions. But what if instead you could create an outcome at the beginning of your day or at the end of each day for how you're going to operate the next day or the day ahead? What emotions do you want to practice today? And when it comes to emotions, you can Google list of emotions if you'd like, right? There's thousands of different labels of emotions. But if you think about emotions, really they're split into two categories. I think of emotions as high vibration emotions and low vibration emotions. The thing is, emotions are energy, right? Emotions can be picked up through brain waves. Emotions can be felt from one human being to another. And that's not just because we can look at another person and see what they're feeling, but have you ever felt that you can feel someone else's emotions? Have you ever had someone walk into the same room as you and they were having a great day and you were immediately lifted up by this individual, their smile, their radiance, the way that they moved, the way that they were breathing? It's not just because you saw those things. Sometimes you can even feel someone enter the room before you even lay your eyes on them. That's because that person is emitting a much higher vibration emotion than everybody else in that room. And this is why you are the people you spend time around, because your energies collide, your energies mesh, and you become those people because you share the same energy. So there's high vibration emotions and there's low vibration emotions. Think about when you're having a tough day. Where are your shoulders generally when you're having a tough day, right? They're sullen. What is your speech patterns like? They're like mine right now. Lower, less energy, kind of drawn out, right? That is a low vibration state of being. And the thing is, when you're practicing low vibration emotions, you are attracting more low vibration emotions to you. This is why a lot of people who have a bad month or a bad week or even a bad day, they go into the next day, week, or month thinking about the last bad day or week or month that they had, saying, oh man, it's been so slow. No one's picking up my phone calls. The business owner isn't present when I drop off at any of these businesses. If you're doing like B2B outreach, like you just get in your mind this revolving door of low vibration, low vibration, low vibration until something breaks the chain. And then you realize, whoa, why have I allowed myself to feel this way the last day, week, or month? It's time to kick myself back into gear, create an outcome for what I want, and move towards that outcome. So when you're making your outcome, choose one high vibration emotion to focus on every single day. And you can even practice it like Ben Franklin used to practice his 13 virtues. You can choose one virtue or one emotion to practice for a week straight. And if a day goes by where you forget to focus on that specific emotion, or you feel like you didn't practice that specific emotion well enough, then you can start over and you got to go back to the beginning of the week. But let me ask you, if you choose an emotion of gratitude, if you choose an emotion of love, you choose an emotion of confidence, and you practice that for a week, how are you going to feel after that week? Emotions are like muscles. The more you use them, the better that you get. And the better you are at managing and being intentional about your emotions, the stronger of a sales professional you will become, the more money you will make, and the better life you will live. That's number one. Number two is, once you have that outcome of the emotion you want to practice, there is a way for you to quite literally step into and trigger yourself into that emotional state of being whenever you want to. And I want to actually help you do this today. We're going to call it an emotional anchor. Okay. And it's not important how this works. Really, the most important thing is you follow along with me and follow the instructions as I give them to you. Some of this won't be possible if you're driving, you're on the road. So simply revisit this show later during the day. Take a screenshot so you remember what timestamp we're at right now and come back to it later in the day. But right now, I'd like to practice this with you. I'd like you to choose any emotion that you would like to be able to revisit at any point in the day that you choose. Choose an emotion of confidence, of enthusiasm, of gratitude, of love, of exuberance, of curiosity, whatever that emotion is. I want you to choose that emotion right now, and I would like you to write down that emotion on a piece of paper or a notebook. And for the sake of this example, because you're going to be able to follow this instruction with any emotion that you choose, but for the sake of this example, what's one of the most powerful emotions you can practice when you're in sales? I think you'd agree that it's confidence. The more confident you are, the more you're going to be able to be rejected, the more you're going to be able to continue to push through day after day after day, month after month. And as you know, every day in sales resets, right? So confidence is an incredible emotion to practice in sales. So I would like you to think right now. And if it's easier for you to do this with your eyes closed, then please feel welcome to do that. This is the part where you don't want to be driving for, please. Okay. Close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, in your theater of imagination, I would like you to think of a time in your life where you felt extremely confident, where you felt that everything was going your way. You achieved goal after goal after goal, and you just felt really good doing it. You were just in this state of flow where even if someone gave you bad news, even if you received a phone call you didn't want, even if you were working that day with someone you don't necessarily like to work with, you just knew you'd get through it, and you knew you'd get through it with power and with ease. Think of a time in your life where you felt extremely confident. And now in your mind, I would like you to be aware of this picture, of this video that's going through your mind right now as you're thinking of this time in your life where you felt extremely confident, where you felt on top of the world. And what I would like you to do with this picture in your mind is I'd like you to really be there. Be in that video, be in that picture as if you were seeing it from the first person point of view. And I want you to take this video and picture and realize that you can manipulate it to become even more powerful, even brighter, even more vivid. I want you to imagine this picture in your mind as almost a panoramic movie screen. You just sat down in a movie theater and you've got the most high resolution screen in front of you that goes all the way around, 360 vision. Really high tech in this movie theater because it is the movie theater of your mind. You can do whatever you like with it. I want you to make this video more vivid. Make it brighter. Really be there. If you hear pleasant sounds in the background, play those sounds louder. Turn the volume up. Turn up the brightness. Really be there. Really soak in that feeling of confidence that you're experiencing right now. And when I count down from 3, I would like you to clench your fist and store this feeling of confidence so that you can revisit it whenever you'd like to. 3, feel this feeling of confidence. Make this scene brighter and more vivid. 2, really feel this emotion of confidence. Make it brighter, make it more powerful. Really be there as if you're re-experiencing this moment in your life again. And 1, clench your fist, store this power of confidence in the fist of your choosing so that you can revisit it and come back to it whenever you'd like to. And now you can release your fist. What you just did was you experienced a very powerful memory in your mind of a time where you felt confident. The thing about your brain, the thing about your mind is it cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So if you want to feel a specific emotion, play it back in your mind and ask yourself, when did I feel confident? When did I feel happy in my life? When did I feel enthusiastic? Go back to that place. And then almost like you're throwing a bookmark in there, anchor it to a physical movement on your body. It can be like what we just did. It can be a clenched fist. It can be the snap of your fingers. It can be putting the tip of your thumb behind the knuckle on your ring finger on either hand. Doing something that you're not doing all the time is the important piece so that you're not just firing off this anchor as you're going throughout daily life. You can fire off this anchor and clench your fist and feel that feeling of confidence when you need it the most. And the more you use it, the better at feeling confident that you get. Remember, it's like a muscle. So that's step 2, anchor the emotion. And number 3 to developing rock solid, powerful emotional intelligence is, I hate to say it, but mindset. It's the mindset specifically that every day is a new day. And some people look at that in sales and they say, oh, every day I start back from 0, right? But that's really a beautiful thing because if you have a great day, the next day is a clean slate. If you have a tough day where no one said yes, no one picked up your phone calls, your car got a flat tire while you were prospecting, whatever it is, the next day is a blank slate for you to start over and start new. And that's a beautiful thing because it's very important to go along with mindset that you can't control some things in what you do. The reality is there's only a couple things that you can control in sales. You can control your activity. You can control the amount of phone calls you make. You can control the amount of businesses you drop by. You can control your prospecting. You can control your emotional state most of the time, which is what we're talking about right now. But you can't control what that person says back to you. You can't control whether they close the deal. You can't control whether that person sends you 15 referrals. But you can control how you feel. And mindset is a giant piece of that. Realizing that every single day is a new day and asking yourself the question, what can I do today that I can actually control in order to make progress forward in my sales career, in order to secure that new client, in order to sell more of my product? But also, what can I do today in order to truly live a better life in this world of sales? Because sales is the most challenging profession, but it is by far the greatest profession because you get to create your own destiny. That's what we're talking about today. Building unstoppable emotional intelligence. Replay these 3 tips. Replay the one that was most valuable for you. If you took value away from this conversation or from any of these tips, if any of them were helpful, please share this broadcast with just one other person. You're the reason our broadcast has grown over the past 2 years. And if you would like to go deeper into these principles of peak performance in the world of sales, I created an entire strategy guide. It's about 20 pages. It's a strategy guide that you can download for free. I'll send it over to you. Just send me a message, or if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on a podcast platform, email me at brandon@bebetterindustriescom. brandon@bebetterindustriescom. Tell me you want a copy of the Peak Performance Guide. I'll send it over to you. It doesn't cost you a thing. I just want you to use it to live a better life, make more sales, and really just feel better about yourself as you go throughout your day. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have an incredible day. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.